Hello, and welcome to another episode of Pull Up 3.
I didn't tell you to start, bro. But it's gonna go
Oh,
with that. It's cool. It's cool. It's gonna go.
I seen the thing,
Oh,
so I
okay.
did the little Disney Channel shit.
Oh, my bad.
Um,
My bad.
I am Paragon Down,
I'm Jemay.
And I'm JayTrent.
and today we'll be talking about the first two games of the finals. They have been absolutely exciting so far. Um, we'll talk about the college top 25 preseason poll. Um, We'll talk about a hypothetical WNBA starting five. And for those that don't know, the NBA just put out a Netflix doc show. I don't know what you want to call it, but about it was just like a day in the life type thing about Sabonis, LeBron, Tatum, Ant, and Jimmy
Jimmy
Butler.
Butler.
And it was just kind of like their journey throughout the season. They talked about like, it just gave really nice insight into their lives outside of basketball and like their mentality for things. So we'll talk about what five players we would pick for a WNBA one. Um, so yeah, first, do we just want to talk about how the finals have went so far, or do we want to go game one, game two?
We could just do we could do up to this point because it's kind of it'll probably run together anyway. So
Well, um, as we know, it is currently 1-1. Technically, it is in Minnesota's favor because they were able to split on uh, the Liberty's home floor. They were down early in both games. They completed the comeback game one, could not finish it in game two. They Liberty shut the door on that the way they were supposed to the first time, on the back of Benai Delaney and Stewie. Um, I still, at the moment, am keeping my Lynx in four prediction because it's just I I think them on top of the fact that I don't think the Lynx necessarily played up to their full potential in New York. Role players always play better at home. I think they'll shoot a lot better because they don't think they really shot the best over there. I also just think it is going to be absolutely hilarious to watch the Lynx do the electric slide on their home court to clinch a championship. Yeah, that will probably be the funniest way to clinch a chip I've ever seen. For those that are not aware, every home game that the Lynx win, they do the electric slide. It like this is I don't know when it started, but they have been doing this for quite some time. I actually need to look up where that started from. But
Nobody knows. They asked Cheryl, Courtney, Phee. They asked all of them like, what's the history behind it? And every last one of them was like, I have no idea. They just been doing it since I got here. Like nobody knows. So it's
somebody need
just
to
a
ask
Lynx prediction.
somebody need to ask Sylvia Fowles and Maya Moore and them and see. I need to know the day that started. Like who was like, y'all about to be doing that. I don't know if the players are like, we're about to start doing electric slide, or like somebody upper management was like, it'd be cool if y'all did the electric slide. And they just never stopped.
They said that it used to be they used to dance to the Apache jump on it, and they was like, that's a little inappropriate. So we're gonna switch to the electric slide.
Jump
So
on it is inappropriate.
I guess I don't know what the words to the song are, but
Okay, now I gotta look at it. Now I gotta look up the words. Now I gotta look up the words to that song because
anyway. Um, yeah, I think I agree. I'm still Lynx in four. I really wanted them to win game two. I really wanted them to win game two. Because if the Lynx won in three, I we talked about agendas last time. The New York Liberty franchise would have blocked me because y'all are crazy. This is crazy. Y'all did all of that to lose to the Lynx. I don't know, but I think the games have been really fun. But like I said too, like the last I said this last time, like New York has a problem with blowing leads. Like they've been doing that all year. Um, especially against the Lynx. I mean, they did it in game one. They did it in the Commissioner's Cup. That's just a reoccurring problem for them. And I think the only thing that helped them survive in game two was the fact that Stewie was like, I cannot lose today. Like I don't know what's going on. Like she stopped all that bullshit foul baiting and just like was like, you know what, I'm hooping today. Like I'm trying to get a bucket. Um and she even stepped it up defensively. Not to say she's a bad defender because I think she holds down their defense a lot, but um she was like, you know what? I'm putting my hands up, like everything in the passing lane, that's mine. Like she really, I think, played to like um I feel like that was maybe one of the best games that she's played. And like I don't know what her stats were, but I feel like holistically, I feel like Stewie has kind of declined a little bit. Um in the sense that she's not consistently impactful. But I feel like that game was like her reminder of like, no, guys, I'm still 1B. Be respectful. And so, um, yeah, I'll give him that one. But it was also funny to me that I think a lot of the conversation was, well, if New York wants to win, the Sabrina has to play better. And she started off really hot, and then she did nothing in the second quarter, in the second half, like not a thing. I think she maybe had 1 point off a free throw, maybe. So I think if the Liberty want to be better, they have to be consistent all the way through, and I feel like that's their struggle. Because to me, the Lynx still could have won game two had they played a little better. And I think Cheryl didn't. She tried to go with the same thing that she did in the first game where she went play a small ball and it worked. They was Natisha Heideman was on. Um, Kayla McBride was on. Everybody was on and it was working, but then she did small ball in the second game and it wasn't really working. I think it would have been cool to see maybe, Dorka or um, somebody else to kind of get those minutes down the stretch because I think they just needed something. And two, I would like to see her like put together some better play calling, um especially for Bridget, because I think they need Bridget or they need K-Mac. Like both of them can't be drowned out. And I think that was the thing that happened in game two, where K-Mac didn't get a lot of shots. I don't know if Bridget took a single shot. She probably did, but I just don't feel like she did anything in that game. And that can't be like a reoccurring thing for them. So I'm hoping in the next two games she's able to make her spot up shooters much more effective.
So, for starters, yeah. Um, talking about Stewie, um, finding a way, something that Jemay said that I think is important is finding a way to be consistently impactful because her shot is not always going to be going down because nobody's shot is always falling. But, and Stewie ended up, I believe, she was 7 for 18 in game two. She had 7 steals, three of which were in the fourth quarter. Like that's when it was like you said, she decided it's like I can't go home. If we go to Minnesota down 2-0, this series is over. If we go to Minnesota down 2-0, the series is not coming back to New York. Period. So defensively, she's always been at that level defensively, especially this year because we've seen we've seen her shot be less reliable for her this year. I don't know what it is, but defensively, she's stepped it up, and they needed her defense. Um, Also, yeah, I think Minnesota is gonna have to find some more size. Like they might need more minutes from Dorka. Dorka only played 2 minutes in this game. They might need more from her because that's that's where they're losing. They got out rebounded by 7, I believe, in game two. JJ had 9 boards, Stewie had 8. On their side, Phee had 8, and Courtney Williams had 6 boards. Like that was most of their production on the glass. They need to find a way to get more size involved. Also, offensively, something I've noticed about both of these teams is that they like to switch. There's been a lot of switching. There was game two was probably the most switching I've ever seen in a basketball game because it felt like both teams were really heavy on it because both teams feel like we have a lineup that can, if I need you to guard X player for a beat, for a possession, then they can hold their own. And there was a lot of that in game two. What Minnesota is gonna have to do is they're gonna have to find a way to counter that, which I think honestly, like Don said at the start, the series is in their favor because they got one on the road, which means home court advantage is theirs now. So it's really going to be on New York to decide what is it that they're looking to do because you got to get one of these games back because I'm sure they like their chances of closing it out at home, but they got to get there.
So something I was looking at before the last episode, we talked about like what is going to be the keys to each team winning. Uh, one of the things we mentioned was delivery and rebounding. They were the best rebounding team in the league, or at least like top three or something like that. And the Lynx were not. Um, so, like Jay said, last game they got out rebounded 34 to 20. The Lynx got out rebounded 34 to 27. The Liberty had 10 offensive rebounds, and the Lynx only had 5. The Liberty had 24 defensive rebounds, and the Lynx only had 22. Now, game one was an entirely different story. Um, so how many offensive rebounds do you think the Liberty got more than the Lynx in game one?
How many more?
Yes.
Um,
It's got to be a crazy number for
yeah,
you
because
to ask
I
it like
I
that.
feel like I feel like the Lynx only had like 2 awards in that first game. Like, so I'm gonna go with 12.
I'm gonna say 7.
Jemay was closer. So the Liberty actually out rebounded the Lynx on the offensive board 5 to 20. But the biggest difference was that because the Liberty shot 34 for 90 from the field.
Didn't
The
they have like
Lynx,
double the like possessions?
I think
And
they definitely had more. They took 19 more shots than them through that game. So the Lynx shot 36 for 71 and the Liberty shot 34 for 90. The Lynx shot 50% from the field, and the Liberty only shot 37% from the field, or technically 38. They both shot, they shot pretty close in free throws. It was only a one free throw disparity. So in game one, even though the Liberty did exactly what they were supposed to do on the rebounding, because the Lynx shot the lights out like we kind of expected them to, they
that
were
was
they were
Yeah, that was
still
K-Mac first game of all right, I gotta do something. So now
that
K-Mac sister, you gotta do it at least one more time. I don't know. You
they
got
were still able to pull it out. And now in game two, the possession battle was a lot closer with the Lynx shooting 60 field goals and the Liberty shooting 61. But
hmm.
the Lynx shot 6 for 20 from three, and the Liberty shot 11 for 24. So if the Lynx aren't hitting threes, I think it's going to be really hard for them to win because they already don't have the size. It's just the fact that the Lynx very rarely miss, at least this season. We always talk about how like six of them are shooting 40% from three. It, you live and die by the three for most teams, and they have been living and thriving. And if there's going to be a time for them to be hitting, you on your home court the next two games with a chance to put the series away.
I'm just
If y'all decide to miss now, and y'all could not miss all for 4 months, y'all crazy.
I'm just saying I think and that's the thing. I think Bridget Carlton has been like very quiet on these road games, but I have never seen Bridget Carlton like this entire season. We're gonna knock on the wood. I don't want to jinx my sister. I have not seen her miss a big shot in Minnesota this year. Like I don't know what about the fans there or proud in the crowd screaming at people or doing backflips. Whatever it is, something in her activates her spirit. Um, and honestly, I feel like the thing that I've been saying is like Phee obviously always has a good game, but they just really need at this point two other people to go off inconsistently. It's been Courtney, it's been Phee. So it's like if K Mac could have a good day, if Bridget can have a good day, if Zandlasini, she hasn't got a lot of minutes recently, but if she can get in and have a good day. Um Natisha Heideman, Natisha Heideman having a good day and leading them to a win was crazy. Like Natisha Heideman is probably the smallest person on the floor, and she cooked the Liberty. That's what they really should be embarrassed about. Because that's a shame. Y'all got 6'4" Leonie Fibich on her, and she's getting cooked. I have to.
Yeah, I kind of wonder. I wonder what the Lynx do differently because I would also like to see Xander Lassini play some more minutes. I feel like her ability to create off the dribble could be really helpful for them against a switch heavy team like the Liberty because you have somebody who can create offense for themselves. So it kind of puts them in a good position. So we'll see. I kind of I wonder what it is about the Liberty, and this kind of been their thing all season. They build these leads and then take the foot off the gas as the game goes on. They they can't afford to do that if they're not at home because, like you said, the role players step up at home. So, what is it that they look to do? My first thought is get JJ the ball in the post early. See how because that's the discrepancy between these two teams is the size. I feel like if you go to those JJ post ups early on and kind of hammer that pressure point, that kind of gets Minnesota off balance early. And they might need that on the road because I've noticed they've tried to go to they've tried to go to the JJ post ups in the second half and they've been less efficient. And I think that's because it's harder to do that when you're playing from behind. You kind of want to space the floor and you want to get your shooters involved. So I wonder, if they try to go to that early on, or if they react to those switches and say, we'll trust whoever's out here to shoot. Because we got Benaja, who was hitting every shot, it felt like, with like 3 seconds left on the shot clock. She was like, "Oh no, I got this. Y'all don't worry about it." And she was huge for them in game two. She was one of the reasons they were able to pull away from that. So I don't know.
I think
Dude,
I do wonder though, because I think in game one, like they were able to keep the lead because they were going to JJ. They were like kind of making her the focal point, and then they got to the second half and they kind of stopped doing that. Um, and that's when I feel like they was trying to live and die by the three. And it's like y'all ain't been on all day. I don't know why you thought you was gonna get on right now, but you not on. Um, and it just kind of like, and then it became to like poor decision making, like just looking very uncomfortable in a way that I feel like when they played the Aces last round, they didn't really look down the stretch. And it's maybe because um they're I mean I don't know. I don't I wonder what it is because it's you I don't know. I really wonder about that because they have definitely like gotten down this like I said, they've been blowing leads all year, but these past couple of games, it's really looked, those last 2, 3 minutes look hectic. Like they looked like, damn, like what we gonna do? And it's like you're not even really, in some cases, you're not even down yet. You know what I'm saying? Minnesota just going on a run. And it's like, okay, and it doesn't seem like they're like, okay, we have an opportunity to stop this. It's just kind of like, damn, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And it's like, the purpose of y'all getting closer and having, taking this year was so that, down the stretch, you can feel confident in your teammates. And it still feels kind of like we ain't got that yet. And I mean, I think some of it is too, like you said, like going away from JJ, not getting her involved early. Um, Sabrina production going away in the second half, but that's something that they got to figure out because if Stewie is the only person on the floor that's like, no, like it's not over, we can still win. I don't know how well that works if Minnesota is shooting better. Because she can't do it by herself. I mean, she's gonna try, obviously, but I don't know how successful they actually become if Minnesota is actually playing better basketball. And I don't even think we've really seen Minnesota play consistently good basketball. Like I think like they've started a lot of games slow, at least after the Olympic break. Um, but usually it's quarters 2 to 4, they start cooking. And I don't even really feel like they did that. And even in game one, like they was down 15 with what, 5 minutes to go, 3 minutes to go. That's not good basketball. But I mean, to overcome that, that's insane. But just looking at that is not good basketball. Like you getting down 15 in the fourth quarter is not good basketball. So I really wonder like how New York is going to be able to rise to the occasion if Minnesota decides they want to play good basketball the entire time.
so
Um, but
oh, I was looking at earlier, Jemay made a point about Sabrina, um, and how she started off really hot early and did not really do much the rest of the game. Um, even though they still managed to win, which is very impressive. Uh, Sabrina made 5 shots in the first quarter and did not make another field goal the rest of the game. Like Jimmy said, I think she might have made a free throw or two, but as far as
she
field
made
goals,
she made one free throw in the second half. I gotta pull it up. She only
yeah,
took one shot in the second half.
and that's just not. they can't win 2 games in Minnesota like that. They just can't. It Stewie is one of the greatest basketball players ever. No doubt in my mind. But they are not beating the Lynx if Sabrina is taking one shot in the second half. And if she's scoring all her points in the first, it's just not enough. Um, I also,
She she also played the entire second half with no rest
yeah, it's super
and
nasty.
only took one shot. That can't happen. 1 point, 1 rebound, 2 assists.
Yeah, that's nasty.
And
I
I don't even think JJ was going. Like that's why I'm like I'm trying to like think about what they were doing in the second half of that game.
So so I got it pulled up now. JJ and Benaja led the team in shot attempts in the second half. They both took 8 shots. JJ was 4 for 8 with 10 points, and Benaja was 3 for 8 with 7 points in the second half. So maybe that's it. Maybe it comes down to feeding JJ on the low block and letting her take advantage of the size advantage that she has. Like maybe that's it. But it just feels like that can't be the only pressure point you try to hit.
I just want to
Because
say, oh, go
because
ahead.
the
Sorry.
now I will say that the Lynx are going to be switching. So if the Lynx switch and there's a small body on JJ for even a split second, you feed her.
Both games, the Liberty have shot more threes than the Lynx, and I really don't think they should be doing that. I know they have very capable 3-point shooters. Like I completely understand that. But we talk all the time about how Phee is small for how she plays. And like it really ain't that much bigger than her on the court, or at least on the Lynx side. Like one of the things we talked about for the Liberty was that they were going to be outmatching them on the interior. The first game, they shot 11 more threes than them, and the second game they shot four. I don't really think they need to be shooting more threes than them the rest of the series because it's like there's just so many size mismatches that they can take advantage of, and I think they need to like Sabrina has become a lot more of a capable inside presence to be a more capable scorer in the playoffs. This is the time for her to be using that. Like her, Stewie don't really like her. Stewie has been scoring effectively, even though she hasn't been hitting threes because she's been, you know, she's Stewie. Like I said, JJ needs to be the main person that's like Jay said, if she gets a split second of Natasha Heidemann on her, I need that. I I need it
Funny, JJ only took 1 3 in game two.
because
So it seems to
I
be
think she
She
know.
decided to be a serious basketball player. There's no reason. JJ be pissing me off so bad, bro. Because why are you 6'6" standing on the 3-point line? Siobhan be calling her Carl Anthony Towns. And girl, don't piss me off.
She was getting KD comparisons at one point, so I think that's why. But
yeah.
No,
Like
she
this is
it's
I
sad.
like I get it. I get it. It's cool that you can shoot those, but that ain't what we need. That ain't what we need right now. That ain't what we need.
it's money time right now. This is
How
Yeah.
I ain't never needed a bucket more from you than ever before. Please get your ass inside for now. Just you can shoot those all you want next year. Do whatever you got to do, but for now, your ass need to be inside. First, that needs to be a first option. You can
what
shoot
did
them if you
she
open.
what did she shoot? Anybody know what JJ shot in the first game in terms of 3-pointers? I feel like I can pull it up, but I don't know if one of y'all got it up already.
JJ shot 1 for 3 from 3 pointers in the first game.
Um, I'll say the thing that actually makes me mad about JJ, in particular, because the Lynx were switching a lot. And I do think New York was trying to do a better job of like finding the mismatch. Um, I remember distinctly the one play where Natisha Heidemann was on JJ and she just fouled her before she could even. No, she was on S2E and she just fouled her before the play could get started because she was like, I'm not gonna do this with y'all. Which I respect that. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna body me. Nope, wrap it up. Um, but I do think New York tried to like deal with the mix match more. I think the problem with JJ though is that it's like she can't when she starts to get contact, because I think the Lynx play really good team defense. So um when she gets the ball in the paint sometimes and um she has to like make a move and people start to crowd her, she starts to act like she don't know what to do. And it's like, sister, if you just put your hand up, um, you kind of the problem will really go away. Like I don't really know what to tell you other than like if you just put the ball up here, that's it. The problem solved. Um, so I don't know. I just like sometimes I want her to be like, sister, remember you're the biggest person on the floor. Like that's all you got to remember. Stop bringing the ball down to your feet. You don't need to do that. You don't need to jump that much to make this layup. You're at the board. I mean, if you can't make it without trying to jump right now, we have a bigger issue. We have a much bigger issue. Um, and so I don't know. I do wonder what they'll try to do because I do think the Liberty looked better those first 3 quarters of game one. Um, Even though their fourth quarter was nasty, they looked better and they looked like they were playing like they looked like they were enjoying themselves those first 3 quarters. Which is like a good thing, right? But the second game, I feel like they looked a little bit more uneasy, but they got the win. So I don't know how they're gonna deal with that.
Yeah,
My
I think I heard Nakaya say that there's like a nervous energy with the way that the Liberty have looked, especially in that second game. After they lost the first game, they were playing kind of tight because it's like we have to win this one. And I feel like game three might be similar. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of I just hope that for their sake that doesn't lead to a lot of overpassing because not wanting to be the one to make a mistake because that's how you make mistakes.
I think the Liberty feel like if we lose, this shit over. And
Hmm.
the Lynx feel like we playing with house money. Ain't nobody expect us to be here anyway. It's it's Phee and the Jets. It's uh, like yeah, we made it here. We done a great job all year. Ain't nobody expect us to do this. Uh Sherry did what she was supposed to do, even though, the Olympics, different story. But at WNBA season, she coached her ass off. It's like, ain't nobody expect us to be here. So it is what it is. Everybody thought it was about to be Lynx and Aces Part 2 Electric Boogaloo. And now you gotta play us. So it's like if we lose, it is what it is. When we weren't supposed to be here regardless. But if y'all lose, everybody getting shipped somewhere else. We talking about Sabrina in Portland. Stewie might still be here. Jonquel probably gone. Like it's gonna be a lot of moving parts. So I definitely understand the nervous energy thing. Um, my main thing for the Lynx is that I understand y'all have came back and made both these games competitive and even won the first game. Y'all cannot be down 15, 18 points every game. Y'all just can't. Like the game one was they tied for the largest comeback in WNBA history, coming back from 18 points. In game two, they were down 15 points in the second quarter. Is it cool? I understand the Liberty blow a lot of leads, and basketball is a game of runs. but there's a reason that was a WNBA record. Yeah, it's hard to come back from down that much. It's tiring. You have to play so much harder than the person you're playing against when y'all are down by that much. And do the Liberty do silly shit when they get up? Yes. But the work you have to put in to tie and then get that lead is ridiculous. Like Courtney Williams not hitting the shot of her life, y'all down 0-2, which is like not the craziest thing to be down, but it's like we can't do this every game. Yeah, it halftime next game, either it needs to be within the 3 points or y'all need to be up, or it very well could be 2-1 Liberty going into game 4. So we gotta figure that out.
I don't think it hurts them to like be down going into halftime.
Well,
Like
they don't have to be, they don't,
like,
being
I
down
don't
is
even
one thing. They can't
as
be down
long
double
as
digits again.
I mean I'm just saying as long as the Lynx are within like for real, they're within 15. Like I feel okay. Like which sounds insane, but like if they were within 15, I'd be like, all right, like we can make some shake here. You know what I'm saying? If they within 5, I feel even better because like, but I just don't feel like they can be up because I feel like they'd be, I don't know, there's some in their psyche. They gotta be the underdog. But what I will say, the one thing I feel like I noticed in game 2 is the Lynx defense. And I feel like it doesn't make sense because the the Liberty had like 20 more possessions in game 1, but I feel like the Lynx played way better defense in game 1. Like, and I think maybe part of it is like Phee having Phee playing more intensely, but I just feel like it looked like they struggled to me because Phee wasn't like it took her so long to get going. Like she had turnover after turnover after turnover. And she wasn't really like blocking shots. And I ain't gonna say she was really fouling either, but she just, I don't know, I just feel like she wasn't as intense. So everybody else was like doing what they needed to do. But it's like, y'all got to do a little bit more, especially if you want to overcome this deficit. And it's just like, I don't think they were doing more. And I feel like usually the Lynx they can usually overcome those deficits because they were like league leader in steals. And I don't feel like they really, at least in game 2, I don't really feel like they leaned into that or they was like doing their best work. And I feel like that's kind of the thing that is like a little concerning. Well, not concerning, but that'll be to me a focus that something they need to focus on in the next game because getting transition buckets is going to be important. And um yeah, I don't know. I think that just kind of give you energy too, right? Like if you're playing good defense, like I feel like you feel more, at least it looks like people are more in tune with the game. So I hope that that's a thing that they try to clean up in the next 2 games.
Yeah, 6 blocks for the Lynx. No, 6 blocks for Phee, 9 blocks for the Lynx in game 1. And there were no blocks in game 2.
Ooh.
So
Bad vibes. That's what I'm saying. She
yeah,
was not there. She was not there.
the habit creation has to be there. The steal numbers are the same, but the that there being that big of a discrepancy in blocks kind of paints the picture there. I think the Liberty have to decide what coverages defensively are they going to throw at Courtney Williams? Because I feel like other than size, the biggest weakness, I have to put that in quotes because they're not a weak team, but the biggest weakness for Minnesota is they don't have a lot of primary ball handling. Like
Yeah.
it's either Courtney Williams or Natisha Heideman for the most part. They don't I don't the rest of them don't really feel comfortable holding the ball. I mean, Phee does when she's got it in the post, but other than that, everybody else, you would rather see them take one or two dribbles off a screen or on a cut or something like that. So, what coverages do the Liberty throw at Courtney Williams to keep her from tapping into that Chelsea Gray that she was talking about after the game? That she says that she tries to tap into. So
No. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was just gonna say, what do they do to make her uncomfortable?
I'm a I have to first say Courtney Williams' passing has been elite. I don't know. She must have called Chelsea or asked Chelsea what prayer she'd be using that night because the ball placement has been crazy. I'm like, Courtney's sister, what get into that? Like, I feel like it's went to another level. Like, she quietly has like 6, 7 assists every game, and I'm like, are we noticing that? Like, did anybody else see that? But to the Liberty, I think did they try to do? I feel like on the broadcast they were like the Liberty tried to do a triangle into on court, and I thought that was really funny because they had like tried it and then it didn't work and they went immediately back to man. And I'm like, sister, y'all don't have to try that a little longer. Just you know what I'm saying? See if it works. At least give it at least a couple possessions to see if y'all get it right. So I do wonder what they'll do. I mean, I don't think we've seen them do play zone, which it could work, but it could bite them in the ass. I don't know.
One thing that I on one possession in particular, the the deciding possession of the game where um Courtney dribbled off her foot and turned it over. What happened in that possession? She was bringing the ball up. What the Lynx were doing a lot in that game was Courtney was calling for a screen and then she would reject the screen and go the other way because I'm calling for the screen, but I don't actually want that switch. I think Courtney would rather take her chances with Sabrina on her than take the screen and get Stewie switched on her. So what made it work for the Liberty on that deciding play was the way that Sabrina played the screen because Courtney was trying to reject the screen and Sabrina guarded her in a way to where I'm basically forcing you to take the screen. And you could tell that play in particular made Courtney like stutter step a little bit. And in that, it made her lose the ball. That's not going to be something that they can do consistently in the next game, but that has to be, I'm sure that they're watching that thinking, okay, so what was it that we did this time that worked differently? How did we get her off balance? Because she had 8 assists in game 2. Like she was like you said, the placement on them passes, like she was doing it. So they were able to bother her a little bit more
I think
in that one moment. So I wonder what is it that they look to do going forward because it's gonna be more difficult to get those stops on the road because she's gonna be kicking them out to players that are more comfortable pulling up.
I think too it helped that like Stewie was there. Like they didn't for whatever reason. I don't even think um she was like going for the screen. I don't even remember seeing who was like the screener, but as soon as Sabrina cut her off, Stewie was like right there. And I think that was the thing that threw Courtney off because she was like, damn, y'all not my teammates. Like it's supposed to be somebody here, but y'all not here. And I think that was the thing that really threw her off. So I do wonder if they do try to like more traps and stuff because I feel like that's the thing that the Lynx does. I do think that the Lynx are a little bit quicker, so it's easier for them to like jump out and like move around. But I do wonder if they'll try that, and especially since I mean they have Kennedy Burt, KT. Um, I wonder what Benaja minutes will look like, but I feel like they have some of the guards who can be like maybe not as they're shifty enough, but they're also long, so that gives them, some time that a smaller guard wouldn't have. And so I wonder if they'll try to at least try to put more pressure on the perimeter, um, so that it's harder for, Courtney or Natisha or whoever to get good looks.
Also, um, Courtney Williams took 6 threes in game one versus taking 2 threes in game two. You
I
want to take a
don't
couple steps back. You want to take a couple steps back because the thing is, the best way to offset the rebounding advantage for the Liberty, well, this is kind of a duh answer, but it's to make your shots. So, but you got to be, but like you got if you're comfortable, she's gonna have to get more comfortable taking her pull up from the perimeter because I know that her spot is the elbow at the free throw line, but you she might need to find her way to be more comfortable with her threes because I feel like if she can knock them down, which she didn't really hit a lot of threes in game one. She only hit 2 of them, but it was the fact that she was pulling up from that far. It makes the Liberty have to guard you from out there instead of saying she's not pulling up from back there. So we'll just let her do her thing.
I think too in the second game, like I don't think she made like I feel like those both of those twos were like throwaway shots. Like she was like, "Oh, clock running down. I just gotta heave it up." Versus, um, at least in the first game, she was like really trying to attempt those shots. And that's what I feel like a lot of them haven't. None of their 3-point shooters, I feel like, have gotten a lot of or really any good looks. Like, I mean, they've gotten some, here and there, but I don't think they've consistently got good looks. And so I wonder, like, what Cheryl gonna do about the play call because y'all have to shoot the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all not gonna be driving inside Atlanta and Phee and Courtney, or maybe try to get to the rim, but everybody else y'all need to start chucking the ball up. I mean, you don't want them just throwing it any kind of way, but like at some point, it's kind of a numbers game. Like you gotta keep shooting, and one of them will fall. Um, so I wonder, um, what she'll do different, what Charlotte will do different about the play call, and hopefully, like they'll get some better looks because I don't know, it just felt like they just weren't getting much of anything.
Yeah, they only hit 6 threes as a team in game two. Whereas in the first game, Kayla McBride was 4 for 7 by herself. And that's you're gonna need that kind of performance from your 3-point shooters to to if they win game three, the series is over. I feel like New York's back is going to be against the wall if for their sake, I feel like they probably feel like they have to win game three. So
Electric slide on the way.
so I think that they're gonna be, they'll be active with their defensive rotations. And I think that the Lynx are going to be looking to get their shooters involved early, which I do think they need to do because getting them into a rhythm early on is going to be beneficial for them down the stretch. So I think that's what they'll look to do. I wonder, feel like if you're the Liberty, you probably initially give JJ the Phee matchup.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I guess the reason I'm thinking is she's not going they don't ask her to space the floor. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Because I feel like if you let if you let Stewie guard Atlanta to start, it kind of gives her the ability to, she can step out to the three. But if Stewie is playing off her for a second to try to help around the rim, she probably feels like she likes her chances of recovering if Atlanta Smith gets the ball and is able to pull up from the perimeter.
I
I can see that.
I only know because that gives me what they tried to do to the Aces and them helping on Asia. And I just think that like that'll bite them in the ass because Minnesota wants that 3-point shot. Like, I think Atlanta, like, she's been putting up like a very quiet 10 and 12 or whatever, but it's because she hasn't been able to get a clean three, like getting clean threes off. And so to me, it's like Stewie could recover. She could. I see what the vision is. Um, But I don't know. But I mean, but then again, it's like, do you play the game of let everybody else beat me except Phee? Because
I don't think this is the team for that.
I mean, but no, I mean, but if nobody because the Lynx have always won with Phee has to have a good game for the Lynx to succeed, right? Like, and I think that was why the second game they looked a little nasty because Phee couldn't get going.
Wait. What are we constituting as a Phee good game? Like her scoring over 20?
Nah, it's more so the quality of the looks that she's able to get. Because like when it came down to it in game one, she was just the game winner was her just hitting a impossible shot, basically. Like hand in her face, step back. She was just like, nah, I got it. Like if you're making her take shots like that every time down, that's like well executed defensive game plan to me.
Yeah.
The only reason why I was asking was because uh, in game two of the Connecticut series, Phee only scored 9, but they won.
Okay, but Connecticut can't score. That was that game
That is,
where
and
Connecticut
that's
didn't score
absolutely true.
shit.
That is
And
absolutely true.
so it so they can get away with it against the Sun because they not them. The Liberty, on the other hand, they can get you a solid, they'll get you 80. You know what I'm saying? They can get you 75 on a slow day. Um, so like in theory it could work. But then it's like what if you have the ultimate Caleb McBride Atlanta Smith game? I don't know. Like and then it's like you got cooked by the. I mean, I don't know. That's a nasty agenda. I will play with it, but I'm not saying that's whatever. I don't know. It could work though because you would be making Phee completely uncomfortable, and that would require. And I don't know if any team has really tried that yet either. Like I'm trying to think of who they've played this season and like if anybody has been like, all right, we gonna let the rest of y'all do what it do, and we gonna try to get Phee out of here. But I just too think that the Fee's like turn around fade away.
Let's see.
Listen, listen.
Nasty.
I think the hand in her face might make it like she might. I don't know. We need to see the statistics on it,
That's
but
a
I
that,
feel like
that's
she
a
gonna
that's
miss
a
if a hand in her face. I don't know.
that
I don't
that's
know.
a
What
that's a I'll work on that, coach. That's what that is.
what NBA player said I shoot better with a hand in my face? Is that J.R. Smith?
Probably. That sounds like a J.R. Smith thing to say. Let me see.
You do, which is very funny.
In the meantime, um, it, if we feel like we've talked about everything with the finals, do we want to go ahead and pull up this top 25?
Oh, we're gonna talk about the AP?
Yeah.
Sure. Whew. Minnesota
Oh,
don't let me go.
I didn't say I'm sticking with Liberty in five. I think I think they win game three, they lose game four, and then they close it out at home.
I think if this shit go back to New York, I think the Liberty are going to smoke the Lynx on their home court. Like, I think they're going to smoke them niggas. I like. I think it's going to get bad early and it's going to stay ugly. But if the Liberty win game three, I think the Liberty are going to smoke them in game. I mean, I think the Lynx are going to smoke them in game four. Like, once if the Lynx win game three, they're smoking them in game four. If the Liberty win one of these games, then they're smoking them game five.
I think the Lynx are gonna win either way. So they better hope they figure it out in the next two games. They do not want to be devastated on their home floor again. Why can't I find the rankings? Oh, there we go. Who? Okay.
Share that screen.
You want me to share my screen? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cut that off. Screen. Okay. Top 25 rankings. South Carolina, UConn, USC, Texas, UCLA.
Wait. I can't see anything.
You don't see it? Do you see
No,
it, Jay?
we see your I mean I see your screen, but it's like your main screen.
Got you. I
Okay,
have
there it
two
There we
goes.
go.
screens up.
There we
That's
go.
why I'm
There we
I
like,
was
go.
about
I'm
to
looking
say
at the screen. Okay, wrong screen. We're good. We're good.
that's
Okay.
like a work laptop.
I never changed the background. Anyway. Um, okay. South Carolina of one, of course. UConn, USC, Texas, UCLA, Notre Dame, LSU, Iowa State, NC State, Oklahoma, Duke, Baylor, Kansas State, Ohio State, UNC, West Virginia, Louisville, Maryland, Florida State, Ole Miss, Creighton, Kentucky, Nebraska, Alabama, and Indiana. And then we had Iowa, TCU, Utah, in Illinois receiving the top four most votes.
Okay. I would just like to say I think USC is better than UConn. I,
Okay.
I'm not sure about them being third. I mean, I understand, but I would have put USC over UConn. I also would have put Notre Dame fourth.
Okay. Do you have immediate thoughts, Jay?
I I would go UCLA over Texas. That's like
Mm,
the first thing I see, that's my first thought. I think I go UCLA.
I guess
Texas
I
and
guess
no Texas and Notre Dame. Texas and Notre Dame, I think could go either way.
your youngins out of
Um,
Iowa State.
at top 10, baby.
yeah,
We coming.
I was kind of surprised to see that. That's a big jump for them. But they did look really good to close out last year. So
Them girls went band for band Cam Brink and Kiki Iriafen, and their best player did not play well at all.
No, they went band for band with Kiki Uriafen. The other lady
Oh,
did not play.
yeah, you're
Sorry to
Cam was
her,
in
Cam
but she
Brink.
was not on the
Cam
court.
was in foul trouble. So
She
She
was
was
in
not on the
hell.
floor. I'm so sorry to that woman.
She wasn't in foul trouble. She was in hell.
Didn't know what to do with Audie. Period. Okay.
I like LSU's placement. I think I think they're always going to be like good. Um,
Okay.
uh, I mean, Duke has Martin Luther King,
I
so I don't really see them.
I
North
think
Carolina, are they gonna be?
wait.
Listen. Okay, hold
I
on.
think I
Go
think
ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think NC State might creep up a little bit higher in these. I know that they were number three. I know that they were. I don't know if they were
Oh, they not.
AP
Okay.
number three, but I think they were like three in their region in the tournament last year. But I think they could. I think they could jump up back into the top five at some point,
Where is
depending on how they
TCU?
come out to start.
Is
Where's
TCU
who?
in here?
TCU is not top 25. They were the second. They got the second most receiving votes.
Is Baylor where? No, that's not where. Never mind.
Is
Where
Baylor
did
who?
I was gonna ask where did God.
HBL?
No, I was gonna ask where the girl who used to play for North Carolina, UNC went.
Oh,
She
Oregon.
went to Oregon,
Oregon.
but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Oregon's gonna stink. So
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
Um,
West Virginia jumping up
My
eight.
Buckeyes at number 14.
that for them. I like that for them.
No, I do too. I do too. I can't go higher than that.
It get them a little wiggle room to get right.
Did Ole Miss have someone who got hurt or left?
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
yeah.
Their lead point guard had got injured at like really early last season, but she's coming back. And then the girl who was like their 3-point shooter, she ended up leaving at the end of the season, I think. So they're gonna have to figure out. Oh, and their backup point guard ended up leaving, which I really liked her. She was a freshman though, so I don't know.
Well,
Um,
they do have the nasty tax. So it's part of
they do.
it's part of
Sorry
probably
to
why.
those women.
Indiana dropping 13.
Which I feel like is a little nasty. That's a
Okay.
little. I get
A
they don't
tad.
have
Yeah.
Mackenzie Holmes anymore, or what's my girl name? Sarah Scalio, but they got Sydney Parrish and the girl from Tennessee. I don't know. I can't remember her name. Um, so 25 feels like damn, bitch. I think they could have got an 18. They could have got 18. Um, Nebraska. I know they put them on here because they was this close to upsetting Iowa, but to me, that means y'all don't even need to be up here because y'all played in all of our faces. Um, Alabama, I'm a little shocked to see them here. I'm not gonna lie. I was not expecting to see Alabama on this list. Um,
Is is 22 is 22 right for Kentucky? Kentucky might can go up.
the hater in me says yes, they could be lower. The realist,
They was moving a little interesting this offseason.
I
They were
mean,
moving like it was basketball nasty. It wasn't nasty. It was basketball nasty.
it was like, oh, let's look at who was with Virginia last year.
we're gonna take her, and her. Everybody else, y'all can stay where y'all at. Georgia Amore, Claire Strack. She moves me. Claire Strack moves me.
I do
Now,
like her.
I'm a little concerned about Georgia Amore, particularly with the physicality of the SEC. I think it can make her a better player, but worst case scenario is she ends up at HBL.
Mm.
And that concerns me a bit.
Which HBO?
There's only one.
No, I mean like last
What he
year's
means
or
what
2 years
season?
ago.
Like LSU HBO. In the sense that
Okay.
like not that she's playing out of position, but that she never finds her footing.
Ah,
Mhm.
Um yeah, so I'm because obviously like the guard play is different in SEC. So I will be watching them. Florida State being
Oh,
19 is
I
cute.
forget. That just made me remember that is is Texas in the SEC now?
Yep, at Texas and Oklahoma. And they both top 10. I'm not gonna lie. Texas being 4, I'm really side-eyeing. I'm so sorry. I don't think they're a bad team by any means. I love Madison Booker. Um, but 4, especially when NC State is 9, I'm like, could both of y'all have been 9?
It
Maybe
I
feels
one.
like
guess I guess the
it feels like
idea
they're
of Madison Booker's ascension on top of Rory coming back.
yeah,
It's like
Rory
because what
being
were they
healthy.
were
Yeah.
they were number one in their I want to say conference. That's not what that is conference.
They
Yes.
were, yeah. They
Yeah.
were number one in Big 12.
They were number one in the Big 12, but despite her injury. So I guess it's like, okay, well, they how many people left? Or how many important pieces left, if any?
Well, I guess they're important pieces where uh um, Rory and Maddie.
Because I'm about to say, I mean, if you kept majority of your same team, your best player was a freshman, and then your best player the year prior is coming back, and she was just hurt all year. I
Let me
kind
see
of could
what they
see it.
lost though. Okay, let me see people on here that I was like, all right. Oh, they got Layla Philia. Okay. I see.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. I'll let them have that one. They still got Shay Holly. All right. Aaliyah Moore, they still got her. Okay. She moves me. Maddie. They still got, oh, they don't have Muhammad. Hmm. I still get them top 10, but 4 still feels like a stretch. I don't know what big they got. They feel very guard heavy. Um, Aaliyah Moore is solid, but she's 6'1".
So small. That's small, especially considering being in the SEC. Let's see.
Taylor Jones, she's 6'4". I don't think she played. Did she play last season? She might have been the girl that was injured. No, she played last year. Okay. She's a starter. So she might be all right. She's 6'4". They do have a 6'9" girl. I don't remember her playing, but oh, she was injured last season. Okay, that makes sense. So they got a 6'9" girl. She could be first year in the SEC might be a little growing pain, but they got a little bit of size. But we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. 4 feels like a bit of a stretch. I know that I've seen that they've been ranked. The SEC poll has them at number 2 in the conference, which would add up.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can. I'm not sold on Texas over LSU.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I think
Especially
I
if
think Texas I think Texas has like if you're looking, on paper, I could see giving it to Texas, but I don't know. But like I feel
how
like LSU I feel like LSU kind of they
many
might have an edge still.
they got, but I feel like LSU got a bunch of people. Like they got Samaya's coming back. Jersey Wolfenbarger, she's 6'5". Um, Obviously ADR, her year 2 will be interesting. Um, I guess they ain't really got no bigs either.
Not really.
Anissa 6'1". I guess they about similarly sized. Um, kind of guard heavy. But I do wonder what Anissa will do because I mean we all know she already plays a little bit bigger than what she is. Um, but
Will the spacing be nasty?
probably not. I don't think so.
I wouldn't think so.
I don't think so. I mean, I wonder. I guess we'll know when they have their starters
Mm.
because I mean, Flau'jae can score at all three levels. Samaya is an inside big. Um, Miracle Shepherd is a solid guard. She can get to the rim. Michaela can score at all three levels. Kaylin Gilbert can score at all three levels. I'm interested how they put her into the rotation. Um, and Cheyenne Day Wilson, she's a solid PG too. Um, so it'll be interesting how because they are kind of small and usually why I can't remember their coach name. Kim Mulkey. Um, usually she likes playing with traditional bigs and like playing with
Yeah,
two bigs. So I wonder how they'll do that with the lack of size. Be playing a lot of 4 out, 5 out.
could be. I I wonder how much 5 out we see because I do think with a lot of college teams running a lot of zone that could be beneficial. But I know that Anissa Morrow likes to get she likes to get to the paint. She likes to get to the mid range. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Who is
um,
y'all who do y'all think out of 11 and below, who do y'all think is the most underrated team?
Duke.
Duke was hooping last time we saw them.
Duke,
Yeah.
West Virginia too. I'm a big fan of West Virginia. Baylor also has my sister from Colorado, Von Lay.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Duke, Baylor, West Virginia, and Maryland are my teams to watch.
I think I'm a big fan of UNC. I think when you get rid of, or sorry, it's a harsh word, when you don't have someone who is carrying your franchise or carrying your team, and that person carrying is shooting 35% from the field, I think that opens up a lot of things. Uh, we'll have to see how exactly they adjust in their play styles, but like I think that it'll be interesting to see how they play. I'm very interested in watching UNC. Also, again, West Virginia, they played great in the tourney. Like the games, the who they played. They played. Uh,
Iowa
I know they
and
played Iowa, and then they also played. Uh, Lord, my mind's drawing a blank. I don't even want to look it up because I know as soon as I look it up, I'm gonna be mad. They played Georgia. Where Georgia Amore play? Virginia Tech.
yeah.
Virginia, Virginia.
No, just regular Virginia.
Oh, UVA.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
Wait, no,
No.
Virginia Tech.
Okay. I'm about to say. I was
Virginia
like,
Tech. I'm sorry.
yes. That
Oh,
that game was crazy. Um. So like, yeah, we'll see how that turns out. Kansas State, I'm also interested in. I mean, they got one of the better scorers in college basketball. So like,
Serena Sundell comes back too. So they will be, I think they'll be pretty good. No, West Virginia played Princeton. That's what it was.
oh Lord. So I
That
just
was a
lied.
good game.
That
Yeah,
was a good game though. That was a really good
yeah.
game. Who did Virginia Tech play? I don't even. Why don't I see them? Did they make the tournament? They made the tournament.
Yeah, because hold on, they
They
was hitting
did.
like
Hold on.
Oh
they was
wait,
hitting.
I'm looking at the. I only was looking at the top of the bracket. I'm like, it's a hella motherfuckers missing from this thing. Okay. Oh, they played Marshall and Baylor. Okay, yes, because
Them and Baylor went crazy. That's
Jada
what I was
Walker hit
thinking
that
about.
three at the end. Yeah,
Yes,
That's
that's
right.
Lord.
that's
That's
I
right.
mixed
right.
up
That's right.
Baylor and West Virginia. My apologies for the three people who live in West Virginia. Um, but yes, uh, they went insane. But West Virginia did have a fantastic game against Iowa.
Yeah.
Speaking of Iowa, I kind listen.
Hannah
So
Stokey, your
I
time is
kind of
now.
figured that they would not make the initial top 25.
Personally,
I feel like
okay, go ahead.
I I feel like I feel like they surprised somebody.
Personally, I think the AP is hating on Iowa. You got motherfucking Lucy Olsen, who was Villanova's top scorer. She was a dog. She carried Villanova. And she's going to play with Hannah Stokey. She is not Caitlin Clark by any means, but they finna get a bucket. Not like they could be top 25. I They could be top 25. I feel like it's a stretch to not put them on. I feel like it's a stretch to not put them top 25. There was like no more Kaylin, y'all are cooked, but I think they could be
Didn't they get the best
good.
point guard in the country?
Um, and I do think one of the girls that's coming in is supposed to be like the top one of the top players. I don't remember what her name was though. They keeping most of their team. Um, what was the girl name? I don't remember what the girl name is. Hannah Stokey in this picture is hilarious. I don't remember. Is she AJ? No. Addison O'Grady's gonna be really good next year. Um, I don't say where none of them. They don't have that lady no more though, so maybe that's why they got the tax.
Dang, I forgot about that.
Oh, God. I don't remember what the freshman girl name is. Was she always on their team? Number 54 overall. Maybe she's a 2026 graduate and not 2025 or 2024.
Maybe.
Because I do not see her up here.
I'm just
But yeah,
spreading
I mean,
news
I
of
still think
misinformation
they'll
today.
be all right. I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, I think they're flying under the radar. I think they've been a little underrated to start. But um the games have to be played, and once they're played, people gonna see.
Yeah, where did the girl from Michigan State go? Oh, she went to Memphis. I'm about to see that. The girl who was at Michigan State. She had left, went to Ole Miss, committed to Ole Miss, and then backtracked and went to Memphis. But apparently
Weird.
she's sidelined until December.
Oh.
Ole Miss does not deserve good things.
Pursuit of June's things are progressing. Oh, they didn't realize she had academic issues until September, which is nasty. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, this is solid overall. Okay, nobody. Of course, my Louisville hate has to start now, so I'm side-eyeing them. But everybody else,
I
UCLA
don't know
don't
how
piss
much.
me off this year.
Yeah. I don't know how much longer I have as a lifelong Ohio State Buckeyes fan, but
It's supposed to be lifelong.
Right. I was like, "Wait, I mean, what you gonna die?
I've
Like what?"
we'll see. I don't think I can't jump off the bandwagon. I've planted my flag, so I will ride it out.
Okay, so I made my starting five.
Oh, okay. Do I want let's okay, I need to look at starting five Netflix. I looked this up earlier. Um, these men. Okay. LeBron, Jason Tatum, Ant, Jimmy, Sabonis. Sabonis feels so random, not even gonna lie.
It is, but
It does, but
I appreciate it.
I'm kind of like the pick just because his dad used to play in the NBA, so I feel like that's kind of a unique perspective
Oh,
for
he's a
him.
legacy. Okay, that's good
Yeah,
information. That's good information for
yeah,
my list. Okay.
He's really good at basketball too, but it's
I
just
yeah.
mean,
like
I
He's a
know he's
good
he
all
just
right,
he
but
just he just
he's a good
like
player,
to
but
believe they're gonna be one of my teams I watch.
he has the least exciting game out of the five. Like he's definitely the least known. Um, but yeah, he's I appreciated that they added someone who's like not as big as the other four. I just think it made it a little bit more authentic.
Okay, hold
Uh,
on. I gotta write this down so I do my comps right. We got LeBron, who is clearly the superstar. We got JT, who is like next up.
you got
Ant,
Ant,
he's like the fun upcoming young guy.
you got Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy,
Okay,
who's
what is
like
Jimmy
an
Butler?
old Jimmy's like he's an older guy who's on the downside of his career, but
Okay.
definitely has a lot of there's a lot of history there. Like
He has
there's a
a
lot to talk about. Like he's been on like four different teams, made deep playoff runs with all of them. So there's that there.
he has a great personality. Now that will be the last good thing I say about him. But
I'm hollering. And Sabonis is the legacy guy. He's just a little bit different. On like a kind of a mid-tier team. Well, I guess they're
Yeah,
better
and
now.
yeah, they are. They're pretty good. He's made a couple All-Star teams now.
Okay, okay. So this is I'm gonna use that to make my list. All right.
okay,
You
so
know who yours are, Don?
I do.
Okay.
Now I did not make mine based on that. Just to
I bet. Oh, I okay.
wait, whoa. I don't like this. This insinuation is crazy. I didn't like that at all.
My apologies. My apologies. That was disrespectful. I deeply apologize about that. My bad. My bad. That's on me. That's
I
on me.
accept your apology. So
All right.
I'm gonna read off my list.
Okay.
So
Who you got?
first up, we have to go the face of the league, the unanimous MVP,
Okay.
Asia Wilson.
All
She
right.
is easily one of the most personable and likable athletes, not just in the WNBA realm, but just like in general. Um, she's already pretty open about things that she goes through and deals with, good, bad, indifferent. And I think her perspective on like just like a documented perspective on this is what I deal with and like this is what goes on instead of just like a video from the locker room when she wins an award would be really good. And yeah, I don't think just seeing like what she does on a daily basis and how hard she works and all this stuff, I think it'd be interesting. Now, what's gonna be funny is how they hide Bam when them cameras rolling. Because they either gonna have to be like, yeah, you gotta stand on the other side of this camera, or they're gonna put him in a black hoodie or something. Uh, but yeah, my second one is Caitlyn. Uh,
Okay.
she is already being primed to be next up. Either way it goes. She's already done a lot in her very early career. She is someone that almost everyone who wants to hear from, good or bad. I know a lot of things have come about that, positive and negative, but the reality is a lot of people want to hear from her, and a lot of people want to see what she does. And I already know what they're gonna say if she's not included in this. So, but again, that's the that's a superstar. Like no matter what way we slice it, that's a superstar. That's next up. And I'm sure we'll also get some Malia Boston in there. I think that'd be really cool just to see her dynamics with her teammates. She been
Making the
posted.
black lady the side character?
Stop it! Stop it!
That's
Stop it! Stop
crazy.
it! Stop it!
That's
Stop it!
that's
Stop it!
nasty.
Stop it!
That's
Stop it!
nasty.
Stop it! Stop it! Stop! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! You need to stop.
Move on to your next person because it's about to get nasty in here. Move on. Move on.
Here we go. My next up is Dejanay Carrington. Oh, what just happened? Oh, you stopped sharing your screen. Okay, I got scared. Well, I thought my internet cut out. Oh my dear Lord. Okay, my next up is Dejanay Carrington. Um, she has been the talk of the town this last season. Again, good, bad, or indifferent. I do like her unfilteredness on social media. I think she is not scared to share her perspective in any way. I also think, again, we probably gonna get a 2-for-1 special with her and Alyssa just because, them girls live in. So, hearing about navigating her life and also having a relationship with someone in the WNBA and you know just things of that nature, how she's been able to grow as a player from the start, as a player who was very like rough offensively, wasn't really asked to do much, and now MIP, and Lord knows next year what her ceiling is. I think that would be really cool. My fourth is Arike. Uh, Arike is, to me, I think she's probably the most underrated player in the league. Um, we talk about that all the time. Like she, when it comes to getting on all W teams or really just her getting recognition, I think it's very hard for her to get it just because of the circumstances around the way she plays or the stigmas about the way she plays. I think a lot of and even with a lot of the negative comments that used to come with watching WNBA basketball, or really women's basketball, it was always like, it's not exciting. But Arike is arguably the most exciting player to watch. And people don't really know that because the Wings aren't, they at least weren't good last year. And it's just like, it's not, she needs to be at the forefront of this is exciting basketball. Like, this is what I'm putting on to show you that this is good. Easily one of the most stylish players in the league. Her and Dejanay as well, but like easily one of the most stylish players. She seems super nice. Like she has the whole package around what you can mold a superstar with and what she brings to the table. Like, and again, her growth as well, her growth as a playmaker, her growth as a defender, she brings a lot to the table. So I think having her more in the spotlight and people seeing, oh, that's who she is, this is what she does, this is what she could do, it'll just help a lot with the branding. And then last but not least, NECA, uh,
Ooh.
the ultimate businesswoman, the the leader of, I almost said NAACP, but
The WNBPA.
yeah, that the WNBPA. She has ran shit for a long time. I also think she's another very underrated player. She has been successful for a very long time. She was traded to the Sparks. I mean, she was traded from the Sparks for a reason. Like, there was a reason Seattle was like, we're gonna build this team around. This is based on like you and Skylar and Jewel. Like, she's a very big part of a championship team. She's been a very big part of some good teams. Like, no matter who she's played around, she has arguably been the best, if not the second best player on that team. Um, and I think with her working with the WNBPA gives her the most unique perspective at the everyone else, especially with her being the president. Like, there's so many things that she probably knows or she gets into or she does on a daily basis that no other WNBA player has to deal with. And just another unique perspective, another idea or another thing for people to see and be like, oh, so this is what she does. This is who this is. This is how this goes this way. This is how they're able to get this. This is how they work towards these situations. This is what they do. Whatever, whatever. But um, yeah, that is my starting five.
Okay. Jay, do you have your list?
Yeah. So I'm going to not use any names that Don used. So
Ooh, love
so
that. Not even
yeah,
Angel?
I'm going to. Oh, she was definitely on my list initially, but I'm going to shoot from the hip here because I wanna throw some more names out here.
Okay, love that. Love
So
that.
so the first name that uh came to mind for me was Dewana Bonner.
Okay.
So the reason I said that is funny because when Don talked about choosing Dejanay, he talked about, you know, getting like a sneak peek, like the dynamic between her and Alyssa. And that's similar to my reasoning behind picking Dewana. One, of course, she has like a storied career. She is a legend. Also, um, in the final seasons of her career, and also she's engaged to a teammate in Alyssa Thomas, and the headline story that they did for Slam, which I talked about before, like gives some insight into that. So I thought that was that'd be an interesting wrinkle to kind of incorporate into a documentary, especially because I feel like the representation for um for queer players in the W, I feel like that could be something that could be more um spoken about and in the forefront when discussing the players in the league. Uh, Another name in a similar vein, as this is a legend who probably um, is on her way out of the league, is Diana Taurasi.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason I would go through that is just wondering at this stage in her career what what her workouts look like, how she prepares for each game, mentally where her headspace is at, not just, the things that we see on the floor. Um, that was my main reason for picking her. Uh, I realize I got a lot of old players on my list, like older players. Uh,
Wire
the the
hangers.
the
Third
third
blood.
player, the third player on my list is Chelsea Gray.
Okay.
So I feel like looking at the way that her career is gone, like she was a late first round pick. She might have been no, I think so. Like she was a late first round pick. Um, Playing in LA, playing in Vegas, that connection to, the Bay Area where she's from. She's also an announcer for the Sacramento Kings. So like there's another dynamic there about how basketball has had, such a profound impact on her, not just the way that she plays, because she's obviously one of the best players in the league, but there's also off the floor, I feel like there's more that we could learn from there. Um, the fourth one actually comes from the uh the Tubi documentary because I really enjoyed her profile.
The JJ?
Yes, Jonquel Jones is my next pick. I really enjoyed the JJ segment. Like just, hearing about, her upbringing in the Bahamas and the way that she when she went to high school over here in Maryland and then started off at Clemson and transferred schools. She was a mid first round pick, became an MVP and is now, playing on a roster that's contender for a title every year. I really enjoyed the insight into the day to day for JJ, so I'd like to see some extension of that. And the final player that I have, I had to pick an Atlanta Dream player. I could not go my entire starting five without an Atlanta
I was
Dream
about to
player. I'm
say,
going.
I'm surprised it took you
I'm
this long.
Yeah, I'm going with Alicia Gray. So there
Okay.
were actually there were actually a couple of choices here. I thought about Ryan because being an assistant coach at the University of Florida, in addition to being an all-star caliber W player. I also considered Tina Charles for being another legend in kind of the final stages in her career. But I decided to go with Leaf just because during All-Star weekend, like I noticed a lot of the a lot of the fanfare kind of surrounding her. People were kind of drawn to her, like they didn't know much about her before she won the three-point shootout and the skills competition, and it felt like people were people just were drawn to her, to Leash as a personality. So I feel like some more insight into her could be something interesting for people to watch.
Yeah, and we love Leisha's accent, so we gotta get her on a whole segment. Okay. I definitely can't not choose people that you have listed because but all 10 of these people I have thought about. But I'm gonna try to do it based on my breakdown. Um, which is gonna be a little hard. Okay, my Sabonis pick, since there aren't any like legacy players in the WNBA, like there's nobody whose mom was a WNBA player. Like there's a couple of girls whose dads played in NBA, like Lexi,
And
um,
Kalani,
Kalani. Um, those are, do I want to use one of them? Hmm. You know what? Yeah, we're gonna use Kalani. We're gonna use Kalani. Kalani's my bonus pick. That wasn't what I was gonna do at first, but we're gonna use her. Um, just to talk about that legacy there. And also I think Kalani's a fun player that we also don't get to like hear a lot about. Um, my Jimmy Butler pick. Hmm. Okay, actually, I have to go back. I'm not ready for Jimmy Butler. My fun and upcoming player was gonna be Dejanay, but to not pick somebody, I'm gonna pick Ryan.
mm,
Um, to pick somebody different, yeah, I'm gonna pick Ryan. She's fun. I think she's actually really funny, even though she doesn't talk a lot. So it would be really good to kind of like continue to tell her story and like just talk about like how she's been super creative and like again playing how she's the coach of Florida. Um, and just like all of her connections with like why she chose, the school she went to and all that kind of stuff. So I think Ryan would be a great pick for my aunt choice. My next up star, my JT pick. My initial thought was to pick Phee, Even though I feel like Phee is like she's next up, but she's also kind of older, so it doesn't like she doesn't really feel next up. But I'm gonna use her anyway. I think um she's an interesting player. Obviously, she's really good. She's coming into the time of like I can soon take over. She's carrying a team. Um, she plays well with a lot of people. Um, Also, her and JT are both kind of like they're kind of chill, you know. They love their
Reserve.
kids. They take their kids everywhere, you know. So it's they got a lot going on. I like that. My superstar was gonna be Asia Wilson, right? Because you can't. She's a superstar. Um, but to not pick Asia Wilson, I guess the next answer is Stewie.
Thought
But I
about
don't know if
Stewie.
I would have followed Stewie.
I thought about Fee too because I remember because she missed a lot of time last year, like after having her baby. Actually, she didn't miss as much time as people thought. Like
Yeah,
she was ready to get back out there and hoop. So, but yeah, I thought about Fee for that reason.
my superstar. I don't know. Um,
Sabrina.
no. Um,
Wait.
huh?
AT.
AC can't be my superstar.
Jewel.
Absolutely not. She about to get the Jimmy Butler pick, and that's being gracious. Um,
Skylar Diggins Smith.
I thought about Skylar too.
she I mean, but she's kind of the good Jimmy Butler pick. See, I'm struggling because okay, so originally for Sabonis, I was gonna pick Tina Charles because I was like, she has a great legacy. She's been on multiple teams. She's like, she's done all the things. She's now on like a team where her role is different, but then throwing in Kalani, it kind of threw me off. Um,
Yeah.
but Jimmy Butler,
I really like the Tina Charles pick too, now that you mention her. Because
yeah, like I really,
she's like bouncing around the league too. Like
yeah, she's
I
been
feel like
all
that'd be
over.
interesting.
Her role has changed in a lot of places. So
Yeah,
like,
we're gonna need multiple seasons of this because
yeah. Um, okay, I'm gonna give um okay, who do I want to be? Okay, no, I'm gonna change Kalani to Tina Charles. I have to put Tina on here. She's my old person. My Jimmy Butler pick. Who's on like the Jimmy Butler low key could be my AT pick though. But then
yeah,
again,
low key.
she could be my AT pick. AT could be my Jimmy Butler pick. Or Skylar Diggins could be my Jimmy Butler pick too, though. She's been on a couple of teams. She's had to carry. Yeah, Skylar Diggins. Yep, she's my Jimmy Butler pick.
Yeah, that's a
Okay, now
good
my
pick.
superstar. If I don't pick Asia Wilson, I don't want to hear about Stewie's story anymore. I'm so sorry. I feel like I know too much about her, frankly. And that's no shade to Stewie. She has a great family. I love her little romance with her wife, the beautiful story. But I don't really need to hear anything else about her. Um,
Can we go get Candace? Like I know she's not playing no
Honestly,
more.
that's who I
Like
wanted to put on here. Like maybe we just do a little retirement player. I don't know. Uh, mm,
What about Jackie?
mm-mm. I would have
trying to
put a
think
pick a Rike, but
superstar.
you already picked her too. Um,
I'm trying to think of superstars that you haven't named.
That you like. That's a that's a that's a too important
that's the
distinction.
hard part. Picking people I like. No, I'm trying to think for real because
Kennedy Carter. She might be Jimmy Butler.
she too young to be Jimmy Butler, but I see that vision. Um, damn.
Okay, you got Asia, Stewie, AT, NECA, Caitlin, Sabrina, Arike, uh, Skylar, Satu.
He said Skylar already.
I think he just naming general players.
Oh,
Um,
okay. I
I'm
was just
trying to think
naming
of
like the
like
stars.
the top players because at a
Yeah.
certain point, and then we getting out of superstar territory. Phee, um,
yeah.
Aaliyah.
I
Yeah,
wanted
I
to
was
pick
gonna say
Aaliyah, but she kind of what should have been my up and coming pick, honestly. Um, I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make AT my superstar. Yeah, I'm gonna make AT my superstar. AT's my superstar. Phee is JT. Ant is Ryan. Jimmy Butler is Skylar Diggins Smith, and Sabonis is Tina Charles. I like that list. That
no,
list.
I do. I like that.
Yes.
I like that.
I
Yeah,
think
that's
it's
like that's 3 seasons worth of content right there, Netflix.
Listen, we
Hit
got
us
the
up.
storylines.
Hit us up.
Yeah, that's fun. I love that. Okay. These are good. These are good.
So, Jay, do you want to say the
Yes.
line?
Um, yes, all hearts and minds appear to be clear.
Well, Jemay, is you good on your end?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that has been another lovely episode of Pull Up 3. Thank you to those that have joined us live. Thank you for those that will be watching later. I appreciate Jemay for figuring out how to do lives because I did not know how to do that. I'm thankful that she's smarter than me because Laura knows. Um, but yeah, we love you all. We appreciate you. And we will talk to you all shortly.